Hello students, we are going to be learning about learning today. We have different ways that we learn. How do we learn? Classical conditioning, operant conditioning, biology, cognition and learning by observation. Learning is the process that produces relatively enduring change. Associative learning is when certain events occur together. Cognitive learning is when we acquire mental information. Please look at the slide. Classical conditioning is the process of learning associations between stimuli. Operant conditioning deals with the learning of active, voluntary behaviors that are shaped and maintained by their consequences. Look at the slide. We learn through cognitive processing. Observational learning occurs by watching others. Answer the question. Pavlov's experiments, Pavlov's legacy. Pavlov demonstrated that dogs could learn to associate a neutral stimulus, such as the sound of a bell, with an automatic behavior, such as salivating for food. Look at the slide. These are all the behaviors in classical conditioning. A neutral stimulus that evokes no response, such as Pavlov's bell. Unconditioned stimulus is when you see food. Unconditioned response is when you salivate to the food. The conditioned stimulus is a stimulus that is originally neutral but does elicit a response. The conditioned response, which is the learned reflective response to a general neutral stimulus. Look at the slide. Acquisition is when we first learn classical conditioning. This is where the association between the neutral stimulus and the unconditioned stimulus is learned. Look at these slides. Look at this slide. Extinction is the apparent disappearance of the conditioned behavior. Spontaneous recovery is the reappearance of a previously extinguished conditioned response. Look at the slide. Fill in the blank. Generalization is when we respond to a similar stimulus. Discrimination is when we can differentiate between similar stimuli. Look at this slide. We can classical condition a lot. Answer the question. Patients can develop side effects to drugs given to cancer patients. Read about little Albert. He learned to fear a white rat. He associated it with the white lab coat of the experimenter. Operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is the basic learning principle that involves changing the probability that a response will be repeated by manipulating the consequences of the response. Answer the questions in the slide. Skinner. We engage in rewarded behavior. We shape behavior. See the screen? Primary reinforcers are unlearned. Conditioned reinforcers are associated with primary reinforcers. Immediate reinforcers are when we get immediate rewards. Delayed reinforcers would be delayed. For instance, an A grade in the class would not take place immediately. Look at the slide. Reinforcement schedule is when we get responses like you're receiving a grade every week. Continuous reinforcers would be you getting an A grade on your work every week. Partial reinforcement is less. Fixed ratio means the organism is reinforced for a fixed number of responses, such as every fourth time. A variable ratio means the number of responses varies. A fixed interval means the organism is reinforced after a fixed time. A variable interval means that the time varies throughout the conditioning process. Read the slide. Read the slide. Answer the question. Skinner believed we learn through rewards and punishments. Positive reinforcement can help children change behaviors. Read the slide. This is just contrasting classical and operant conditioning. You should reinforce your desired behaviors. If you are on a diet, reinforce the weight loss with something you like to do. Read the slide. Biology, cognition, and learning. Read the slide. Our biology helps us learn associations that are adaptive. Watson believed that we learned through rewards and punishments. Skinner believed that we all learned through experience. We engage in activities for extrinsic motivation. Learning by observation. You do learn by observing others. Albert Bandura believes we learn through imitation. Mirror neurons fire when we imitate others. Look at the slide. If a child grows up in an aggressive house, he or she will be aggressive. Take the quiz. When children watch violent videos, they are more likely to carry out that kind of behavior.